I want to share an exciting update about my life mission. I found my niche, building system for psychological safety. I'm excited to take this concept and a dream, a goal that many organizations are aiming to have into reality through systems. In this sharing today, I will share a reminder of the problem statement that I'm trying to solve, the progress I've made, my key findings, the niche that I found, and my next steps. Let's get started. You and I are customers of some organizations, and sometimes products and services are not perfect. I realize many of this feedback are stuck in our minds, never reach the organization. This results in missed opportunities for us as customers to get better customer experience and for businesses and organizations to maximize the impact, the opportunities, revenues they can make. When I first get started on this, I was trying to help organizations get more feedback out of customers' mind into the organization. But I quickly realized that it was not the biggest problem. Many of the feedback that customers are already sharing are only sitting on the table, unacted by the organization. That told me that instead of helping to get more feedback from customers, I should help organizations close the loop more effectively internally so that they can address feedback better, and therefore, when that time comes, I'm excited to help organizations get more feedback. Instead of organization focus more and more on new ideas, maximizing profits, they should continue to focus on what matters most, that is about their customers. Since that finding, I have done a lot of reflection. I read a lot of books in the topics of organizations, leadership, culture, and also psychological safety. I've had the privilege of working with a number of organizations on many projects. I have continued to build products, systems, processes, teams, and cultures. In the process, I get a chance to see what works and what doesn't work. The book Good to Great is an amazing book, and it helped me summarize my learnings very concisely into 3. The first one, have the right people on the bus and on the right seat. This is especially important for a leader in that organization because they set the tone on how everything gets done and what gets done. Second, once we have the right people on the bus, we can spend less time on managing people, but instead, we can actually create systems that manage the people. This system will drive behavior, which will then drive the result. And the third, in order for an organization to become great, they have to operate in the intersection of the 3 circles. What are they best at? What are they passionate about? Can they get financial return out of these 2 things? Not only to help organizations, I continue to ask, how can I best help organizations to achieve this? So I reflected on my careers. I've built solutions for various organizations using many tools, from the most conventional pen and paper, and some tools, more and more advanced tools these days, from Excel, Airtable, Jira, ClickUp, and many more. The most sophisticated tools are not being used, while the simplest tools like pen and paper can work really effectively. Regardless, I really enjoy building systems. When I was chatting with my wife about this, she came up with this phrase which I really like, which is, I am tool agnostic. reflecting on those experiences in different industries, I think I can say that I'm also industry agnostic. Having the engineering background really helps because it allows me to come into any organization and really understanding the organizations, the construct, the challenges they face, what's important for them, both at the high level and also at the details level. With my analytical mind, I'm able to organize what I call the puzzle pieces on the table, making sense of them and identify opportunities that can be captured by having the right systems. While everybody is focused on their own areas, I am focused on building a holistic system that makes everything work together. This is where I really found my niche. There are three big components of an organization. These are people, process, and tool. We can always hire better, more qualified individuals that have a lot of expertise. We can always come up with more sophisticated processes. We can always get the most advanced tools. Just be honest, we will never get things right in the first place. And the biggest challenge that I saw is not that we don't have any of this right now. What we don't have is whenever each of us identified areas of opportunities, if the environment that we are in are not safe for us to speak up. For example, leaders who don't listen, co-workers who might not be accepting of our feedback. We don't have the right mechanism to share our feedback. Even when we do, nothing is done about it anyway, which discourages us to do the same for the next time around. So what is lacking is not people, process, and tool. We already have all of those. Again, I said, I have built solutions with pen and paper that sometimes work even better with compared to the most sophisticated tools that organizations might have. So I started to dissect into this topic of psychological safety. It is a very great concept, the same as organization culture, that is usually written all over the company's wall and website, but when it comes down to actually doing it in day-to-day, you don't sometimes see it in action. So my niche, instead of building individual processes, which I also enjoy, I want to take my analytical minds and passion in building systems to develop this foundation, a psychological safety system that help people, process, and tool work together in the form of best practices, leadership buy-in, and continuous improvement. The details of this will follow very soon. I just want to highlight that if we have a system that when you turn on this toggle can help organizations be more psychologically safe, it will allow people, process, and tool continue to improve, and there is no limit. The end result that I want to achieve, remember that gap between customers and organizations? By creating psychologically safe environment within the organization that has the ability to continuously improve, close the loop very effectively, we can kind of spread this net across this gap that we have right now between customers and organizations, maximizing the potential opportunities that we have on our people, process, and tool, so that not only employees within the organizations feel heard, but customers out there will also feel heard. I plan to continue doing what I'm doing, working with organizations to look into their organizations and figure out how can they be better. Beyond just building individual processes here and there, I want to work with leaders who want to commit to serving their customers better and willing to look in and see how can we be better ourselves in the inside. And that means sometimes making drastic changes to processes, people, and tool. It is not easy to actually create this psychologically safe environment. And there is no magic bullet, but rather, as the Good to Great book alludes to, once you have the great people on the bus, on the right seat, we can always continue to get better. And by having the right system that allows organizations to iterate on this culture and people, process, and tool, the opportunity is limitless. So I'm excited that once I am able to successfully bridge this gap across a number of organizations, that I will be able to come up with this formula to solve this problem for the world. I'm excited for this book. I'm excited for many people who have helped me along the way to get to this point so far. And also a couple of resources that I've used to generate this presentation. I appreciate the time, and I'm excited to share the new updates very soon. Thank you.